Alright, a very good afternoon to our viewers for joining us in yet again to get another look at our practice paper for today. I see some familiar names in the chat over here as we fill up the rooms on this Friday afternoon. As we took a look at the Nanyang Primary School paper from 2023, end of year paper for English Language Paper 2, Booklet B. Earlier on today in our noon time session, we covered the MCQ portions, which include about the grammar MCQ questions of 10 questions, followed by the vocab MCQ of 5 questions, before wrapping up the break with the vocab close of 5 MCQ substitution questions. Next off on our agenda, we're looking at the grammar close passage as well as the editing passage. Okay, and if we can cover these two sections in time, we may have additional time to go on to the next paper, the Nanhua Primary School paper, looking at the MCQ question sections there. All right. So once again, very good afternoon for those who are joining in. I've laid out the agenda for today. If at any point in time you need to hop off, it's fine. Just maybe hop on back in as we go through the sections that are of a particular importance to you. Okay. Before we start off, any questions or any messages you'd like to relay to us in the chat over here? Maybe perhaps any questions you encountered in school, or maybe any questions you have from our previous live stream sessions that you'd like answered over here. Okay, right. Very good afternoon for all those who are joining in. Not yet, so perhaps along the way, as we take a look at some of these questions, they might jog some of our memory. If any point in time you have any further questions or an extension of the question we're discussing, or you'd like to discuss a question you come across in your own revision or your own exams, please don't hesitate to list them in the chat over here so that we can discuss them together on the spot as well. Okay? It's one thing to practice and revision papers, it's another to apply these skills in practice. See, so let's keep our thinking caps firmly held onto our heads as we embark on the next section, starting off with our grammar passage. Our grammar passage over here talks about fishing in the Bering Sea. Okay? Do any of you know where the Bering Sea is on the map? Anyone of the commenters over here? Any of our commenters over here know where is the Bering Sea? Okay. We're looking at the Bering Sea and a particular trade that happens along these seas. In these waters, we have trade of fishing and also crab fishing. Okay. Crab harvesting. Right? I know we all know that one of Singapore's signature dishes is the chili crab. However, there are many other kinds of crabs all over the world. Okay? Taking a look at a specific species of crabs that grow and who make their homes in the Bering Sea. Right, let's get started. Alaskan fishermen head out to the Bering Sea every winter to harvest snow crabs. However, officials announce the upcoming snow crab harvesting season blank been cancelled due to a sharp decline in their population. You're right, certainly a worrying trend of overfishing over here, but let's focus on the grammar aspects of this question. Okay. Starting off with question 29, the crab harvesting season blank been cancelled. Okay. Wow has stated 17 more days to end level, I'm not ready. Right, certainly it can be a bit stressful to study for exams, especially when the timeline is getting increasingly tight. Okay? But ultimately, if you keep working hard over these next 17 days, I'm pretty sure it'll be much better than if it was tomorrow, right? So keep working hard, just put in this last burst of effort over here, and I think you'll be proud of yourself for putting in your best foot forward, regardless how it turns out. Okay? Alright, double smiley face is coming with an answer over here with option C, has, right? We're looking at the singular verb of season over here, the singular noun season. That's why we use option C, has been cancelled. The snow crab harvesting season has been cancelled due to the sharp decline in the snow crab population. Right, I see a comment from Wawa over here, EAE results. I believe that refers to your early admission exercise results, right? What course are you hoping to get into for Wawa? Where are you looking to go to for your early admissions exercise? Yep, certainly wherever we go to, wherever we choose our chosen vocations, our chosen occupations, it is certainly important to have a good fundamental in communication, right? Regardless of whichever vocation, whichever technical role you would like to explore for Wow over here, I'm certain that you definitely want to have a good basis of fundamentals in language in order to communicate and convey your ideas to speak with others in your workplace and your chosen role. So definitely it's important that we have our basic grasp on the English language. Can't see the comment is blocking. Okay, let me move this out of the way. And I think for our viewers also, if the comments are slightly blocking your passage over here, then maybe you can I think you can choose to lower the comments as well. There's a slight transparency over it so that you can also see what's in between. Okay. Due to their population, Queen Ocean surveys of the sea crab population indicate that blank has shrunk from an estimated 11.9 billion in 2018 to about 1.9 billion in 2022. Right, this is certainly a startling decline, a startling fall in numbers. Right, but numbers of what? Numbers of crabs, sea crabs, right? So what should be the correct pronoun over here in question 30? What should be the correct pronoun you should be looking at over here? Okay, Isha, who's joining in from yesterday as well. Wawa has the answer in. And Double Smiley Face also is joining in with option F. So we have a split in answers over here. Some of us think it's F for it. Counting up is option G for may. Okay, may is a modal indicating a possibility, while it is a pronoun referring to a neutral, non-gendered noun. In this case here, what is the noun we're looking at for question 30? What has shrunk from an estimated? It refers to the population, right? So in this case, you're referring to a noun that is a non-living thing. It's a non-living noun in the singular, so it should be option F. Okay. Well done for those who have gotten it right. Option F, it, referring to the sea crab population, has shrunk from an estimated 11.9 billion in 2018 to 1.9 billion in 2022. That's incredible, right? Not in the best way, of course. It is nearly dropped by around 90% over just 4 years. Can you imagine? Something dropping by 90% over 4 years. That is impossible to wrap our heads around about the sea crab population. Okay, Wawa has mentioned that perhaps there are some struggles that they may face with English language. Certainly that is the case. I myself also as a student, I also had some difficulties, especially when I attempt exam questions, right? English is something that I'm very comfortable with speaking on a day-to-day basis in conversations, talking to my loved ones, speaking with my friends. However, when it comes to an exam setting, when you're sitting in an exam hall, staring down a paper in front of you, printed in black and white, suddenly it seems like a very foreign language altogether. Okay, so certainly a lot of times when it comes to mastering an English language, it can be quite a tricky proposition, especially knowing how to apply these exam techniques. Okay, so that's why we're going through this very rigorously. This exercise in grammar close in order to ensure that we have our language fundamentals ready and available at our fingertips, so that when it comes to exams, we're not learning anything for the first time, we're not taking any unnecessary risks. We are always there applying what we have already learned and practiced multiple times. Right, favorite subject is math. Okay, great. So I'm glad to see that we still have our chosen skills and proficiencies wherever we lie. Now, question 31. Researchers are still determining blank the snow crabs have vanished. In this case, question 31, this is a conditional, right? They are still determining whether or not this statement or this phenomenon is true. So what is the correct conjunction over here to indicate a conditional? indicate here. What option should go in? Question 31, indicate a conditional conjunction. They're still determining. Okay, maybe while we can join in for this question 31. And for double smiley face also, as well as some of our other viewers, I see the chat over here. I see some familiar names. Question 31, which is the correct conditioner you should be using over here? It would be option P. Okay. They're determining the reason or the cause why have the snow crabs vanished. Okay, so that is option P. Looking for a reason behind this phenomenon of this disappearance of the snow crabs. Okay, I have a question for Wow, but more related to exam management techniques. Can I ask you a question? Why during our final exam, our English paper we cannot use highlighter? Okay, good question. Why are we not allowed to use highlighters in our English examinations? Right? If you look at the front of an examination sheet, you'll receive instructions something along the lines of you can only write using a 2B pen or pencil, or you must write using a dark colored pen or pencil ink. Right? So the reason for this is there are reasons behind it, but one of the concern is that for your papers, they are transported, right? I think all of you know your exam papers, especially for major exams like PSLE, O levels, N levels, they are not marked in your respective schools. They are not marked in your staff rooms. Instead, they are transported all the way to SEAB, the Singapore Examinations Assessments Board. They are transported to one place, and then afterwards they are either distributed to be marked within Singapore, or for the higher level papers, they are being flown all the way to Cambridge in the United Kingdom to be marked. As you can see over here, your exam papers may travel over kilometers, miles, even for a very long journey, right? Along the way, if you have highlighter or use any colored ink that can smudge over time, it could result in your answers becoming blurry. And even if you've written down a correct answer, if it is blurry, it becomes smudged, and then as a result, you are unable to score the mark you deserve. And as a result, you suffer from that. So that is something that you should be mindful of when writing in your exam papers also. Do not use inks, do not use pens, or do not use highlighters, especially those that can smudge, because otherwise that could result in you losing marks where you already have gotten them already. So be careful of that. Yes, but very important clarification over here. This point isn't made explicitly clear to some students. They don't really understand why is this the case, but just letting everyone in the live stream know this is the procedure behind the exam marking script, right? All of us have PSI exam marking days. You don't have to go to school, relax. But this is what goes on behind the scenes from the teacher's side. Alright, back to question 32. The snow crabs have vanished. They suspect climate change. Blank have played a significant role. Okay, so what we're looking for over here is a modal. Right, what is a modal? A modal is used to indicate the intensity or the severity of the verb that follows. For example, the verb over here is have played. It is your verb in the present perfect tense. You're looking for a modal over here that affects the intensity of this verb. Can the scientists say with absolute certainty that climate change must have played a significant role? Can they determine that climate change is the main reason? Can they be confident in this assertion? Not really, right? They do not have full confidence to say that climate change is the main culprit. How do we know this? We can see the use of the word suspect. To suspect something is to have a guess but not to be completely sure of, and they're still determining. Okay? So they're still trying to find out the answer. They have a good guess, but it's not confirmed just yet. So both these words over here, or both these clues point to us a certain modal that indicates a possibility. Okay, so which of the modals you have your options over here indicate a possibility of a significant role? Okay. For viewers, if you think you have the answer, feel free to type it into the chat over here and let's see if you get it right. which modal, which word that comes before a verb, should be used over here to indicate a possible reason. Not a confirmed reason, be careful, not confirmed, but possible. Okay, certainly in this case here, I think you'll be using the modal of option G, may. Okay. Climate change may have played a significant role. Okay. Over here, they are pretty certain, but they are not 100% confident. Okay. They cannot say that with absolute certainty, so that's why I use the modal of may over here. Okay. Is that clear to everyone why we use may? Alright, moving on. After significant role, young snow crabs thrive in cold water pools. Okay, what does thrive mean? To thrive is to live out well. Okay, so to survive in cold water pools, which are formed blank the ocean floor by the melting sea ice. Okay, we're looking for a preposition over here, which is the correct preposition to use in question 33. They are formed blank ocean floor by the melting sea ice. Which preposition should you be looking at? Okay. Teddy Bear joining in. Teddy Bear has said option K. K for on, certainly, right? K for option on the seafloor, describing the preposition on the seafloor situated upon the surface of the seafloor. So well done, Teddy Bear. I have two questions over here from our user. First one talking about question 31 and then afterward question 33. Okay, so let me address them in order over here. Firstly, question 31, right? Why is it not why? Oh, why is it why? Okay. Because in this case here, they are still determining, the researchers over here are still trying to find out the reason behind the vanishing of the snow crab. So if you're looking for a reason, you're asking someone for a reason, you use why as your conjunction over here, right? Asking you, why do you ask me this question? This is a reason behind it. I'm trying to find a reason behind behind the snow crab's vanishing. In this case here, why isn't it where? This is because where refers to location. So unless the snow crabs have vanished elsewhere, unless they've migrated or moved away from these cold waters, there's no evidence in the passage that suggests this. So we're looking more towards the reason rather than where else they located to. So that's why we use why and not where for question 31. Okay. Is that clear for our viewers? Okay. Take some time to let it just digest and sit in and mull it over. By the end of the closed passage, if it's still a bit unclear or if you still have further questions, you can always raise it up towards the end. Alright? Let's move on from question 33. On the ocean floor by the melting sea ice. Since 2018, the Bering Sea water temperatures have become blank warmer than usual. Okay, very important over here. You see, then, right? Then is a very important word. It seems to point towards a comparative adverb. So what would be the correct option for question 34 over here to indicate the intensity or quantity? That will be option H, right? As again, option H. Teddy Bear has gotten the right answer twice in a row now on a very hot streak. Well done for getting the right answer. Okay, the temperatures have become much warmer than usual. Okay, let's see if we can keep it up for the next blank over here. Scientists speculate that the young crabs could have been forced to live in smaller areas. The limited food supply may have caused blank to die of starvation. Again, we see may over here. Similarly to question 32, may working as a possibility or hypothetical towards this verb. We see may leading to a cause over here. Okay. However, this blank is looking at a pronoun. A pronoun referring to what noun? It's referring to the young crabs, right? We talked about it in the previous sentence. The young crabs have been forced to live in smaller areas. So because they were forced to live in smaller areas, you look at a pronoun to refer to them. The plural, it should be option M. May have caused them to die of starvation. Okay. Right, well done, double smiley face, joining back in along with Teddy Bear for getting the right answer. Okay. Right, for other viewers also along the way, if you think you have the answer, feel free to join in. Okay. And for Wow, you haven't answered the questions recently, but it's fine. I hope that you're also keeping track and also keeping up at with your own time as well. Okay, as we all know, we have our exams end of years coming very soon in term 4, so let's keep working hard towards the final end goal. Okay, so regardless whether or not you're answering in the chat, thank you very much. To appreciate those who are answering in the chat. For those of you who are not answering in the chat as well, it's fine. I just hope that you're also keeping up with what we're discussing over here. And at any point you have a question or you need me to explain it a little further, please let me know. Don't hesitate to type in the chat and let me know. Alright? Okay. Are we good, Wow? Okay. Question 36. The cramped conditions could also have led to the spread blank deadly diseases. Okay. Question 36. The spread blank deadly diseases, what do we think it is? Right, everyone coming in clutch over here with option J, the spread of deadly diseases. Another theory is blank the warmer waters made the young crabs vulnerable to predators like the Pacific cod. Okay? What does it mean to be vulnerable? To be vulnerable is to be weak to, susceptible to. So what should be the correct conjunction over here? Okay, I see Teddy Bear as an answer in. Do the rest agree with Teddy Bear or do you have a different take on this answer over here? Okay, double smiley face also joined in. Maybe you can get one more to try to get a good sample size of answers over here. Anyone else wants to try? Yes, Dr. Yellow, thank you very much for joining in. We have that. And that is the case over here for question 37. Another reason is that the warmer waters made the young crabs vulnerable to predators like the Pacific cod. Solving the mystery of the missing snow crabs will take time. Meanwhile, the unexpected harvest cancellation has left Alaskan fishermen scrambling to find other sources of income. The snow crabs blank by far the most abundant of all the Bering Sea crab species caught commercially. Hopefully, the snow crab population will be revived before next year's fishing season. Okay, so last one, question 38. Looking at the verb over here, looking at the verb, Teddy Bear has the answer in. Have by far the most abundant of this crab species, okay? Does everyone else agree with Teddy Bear? What do you think, Wow or Dr. Yellow? Or even double smiley face? Do we agree with the answers over here? Okay, might not be too easy, yeah? Might not be too simple here. Okay, good. We finally see a difference in opinions over here. This is interesting, right? This is interesting, especially because this is the last question in the passage. By now, you have the fewest options to choose amongst, and yet, even among these few options, there's a difference in answers. Does anyone want to submit their answers as a tiebreaker before I go through? Anyone else wants to chip in and weigh in with their tiebreaker vote? "65 moments." Okay. 65 moments. Thank you very much for joining us today. Okay, option A as well. Okay. Alright, so okay, Teddy Bear also has made the retroactive change to A. Is that because you're pressured or because you agree with the rest? Okay. So let's understand over here what should we be using. Both of your answers meet the noun tense over here, right? We see the snow crabs. Snow crabs are plural. So off the bat, we should immediately eliminate. Hi, guess who loves Taylor? I guess you love Taylor, right? Okay. Certainly, since there's a snow crab over here, this noun is a plural noun. We should be looking only at options that correspond with a plural noun. So among our remaining options over here that match the plural, we cannot look at by. We don't look at is over here. Is will be incorrect because it is for the singular. And we can also ignore. Okay, just is for now, okay? Now between are and have, what is the difference to over here? In this case, the snow crabs are by far the most abundant of all bearing crab species caught commercially, because the snow crabs are one of the species, right? The snow crabs do not contain or have a species. They are the species itself. So that is why I use are and not have. Okay, abundant over here. Abundant here, that means the most populous or the most in quantity. Numerous, maybe it's a closer definition. Okay, is that clear to us why we use are and not have over here? Okay, but don't be discouraged if you struggle with this question over here. Many students who attended this paper also got this question wrong, and exactly as you have mentioned, about quite a few of them put have, quite a few of them put are. Okay, so certainly this is a question meant to trip up students who are not who have not read the question too clearly over here. Okay, but certainly it is fine. Take this as a learning opportunity to pick yourselves up and be careful with questions like these in the future. Right, thank you very much also Melancholic Days for joining in with your answer. Hope you've gotten it right as well. Okay, so well done for our viewers who have just joined in with Melancholic Days. Taylor, Teddy Bear, 65 Moments, Double Smiley Face, Dr. Yellow, and even Wow Wow. Okay, I hope to see all of you participating and see who is the first one to get all answers correct for our next section. Okay, let's keep an eye out for that. Our next section dials into editing. We're looking at the editing passage over here. You have a total of 12 editing questions. They are split roughly equal among two types of questions. You either get spelling mistakes or grammar mistakes. Spelling or grammar, you'll not be tested on your vocab over here. However, for grammar, you'll be taking a look at prepositions, verbs, even subject-verb agreement between singular and plural subjects, singular and plural nouns, and as well as tenses, right? Present tense, past tense, you use present perfect. When you use past perfect, you use continuous tense. Okay? And the list goes on. Okay, so it's a non-exhaustive list over here of potential grammar mistakes you expect to see in an editing passage. Without further ado, let's dive into our editing passage over here, starting off with bumblebees, right? Bumblebees, all of us love bumblebees, not the cars in Transformers, but Bumblebee is the one that transport our honey to give us the sweet, sweet syrup we have on our pancakes and in our ice creams, right? Honey. Bumblebees have a reputation for being hardworking creatures. The insects are known to spend their days collecting pollen and nectar from flowers. Okay. Question 39 over here. What is the correct answer? Okay. Teddy Bear is quick to join in. Okay, thank you very much. 65 moments. Yes, indeed. Jollibee is a bee. That was Smiley Face getting us back on track over here with known as well, backing up Teddy Bear's answer. How about the rest? What do you think the answer is to question 39? Or what is your favorite bee species? Okay, apart from Jollibee, of course. See. Alright, so let's look at question 39. It is indeed known. They are known to spend their days collecting pollen and nectar from flowers. However, fresh evidence from a study by the Queen Mary University of London. Take note, this is important, especially to all our writers, especially for our secondary writers, right? Writing your informative essays, such as your argumentative essay, if you're writing your discursive or expository essay, you're listing down evidence to prove up your point. If you are citing evidence or research from a place or an institute, make sure it is capitalized because it is a proper noun. If it's a name or title of a place, it needs to be in capital letters because it is a proper noun. Okay, take note of that, especially for our secondary viewers in the chat today. Suggest that, like humans, the bees also enjoyed a little playtime. Okay, this is a tense mistake over here. What should be the correct tense, or what should be the correct word in question 40? Okay, Teddy Bear coming in. Enjoy by Teddy Bear. What did others think? Okay. Do we agree that it should be enjoy in the present tense? Okay. It seems like we've settled on present tense, right? So my question now over here will be towards not just Teddy Bear, but to the rest of our viewers. Why is it enjoy and not enjoys? Okay, enjoys is also present tense, right? So why can't you use enjoys over here if it's also in the present tense? Why can't you use enjoys as your answer? Certainly, 65 moments, very sharp eyes, right? Very great glasses and very great lenses over here. Must be new lenses, yeah? The bees over here signify that these are plural subjects, right? So not only is this a tense question, it also tests you on subject-verb agreement, like we listed out at the start of this editing passage. Not only do you need to change the tense, you also need to be mindful of the subject over here. In this case here, the subject is plural, so you need to use the plural verb of enjoy and not enjoys. Okay, so good spot. Thank you very much. 65 moments. Very sharp eyes. Alright, it seems everyone has jumped ahead with our next question, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. In the study, researchers repeatedly taught the bees to roll a ball in exchange for food. Okay, so exchange, and all of you have correctly pointed out, EXCHANGE. Okay, don't let the spelling over here trip you up. Spelling mistake. In exchange for food. The researchers then investigated if the insects were playing with the balls. Okay. Investigator over here definitely is the wrong spelling, but what should be the correct spelling of investigator? Okay, some of us very quick on the button, very quick on our answers. What do the rest think? Do you agree? Certainly that's the case, right? Investigated. And at this point in time, I have students that have asked me before, teacher, if apart from changing the spelling, do I also need to change the tense of this from past tense to present tense or to any other tenses? And for editing passage, it is very clear. The requirement for students is to change either the grammar or the spelling. You're not required to change both grammar and spelling in the same question. Okay? So if this is a spelling mistake over here, you only need to change the spelling. You do not need to change the tense of this word over here. Okay? You can keep it in the same tense. So don't give yourself extra work. Don't give yourself more work or more hassle than you need to. Change only the spelling or change only the grammar. You do not need to do both changes. Is that clear? If the insects were playing with the balls. In the first experiment, 45 bumblebees were led through a tunnel with two paths. The first path led straight to a chamber with food, and the second led to a chamber filled with small wooden balls. Okay. So again, spelling mistake for straight over here. How do you spell straight? How do you spell straight? Okay, straight is spelled S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Okay. S-T-R-A-I-G-H-T. Okay. But you have to be careful over here. Why? Because straight has another homophone. What is a homophone? Okay. Homophone refers to words with same sounds. Okay. For example, homo referring to the same, phone referring to the sounds. Okay, so homophone with straight. What does straight mean over here? What is a straight? Every day you open up newspapers, you're reading the Straits Times, right? So what is a straight? Sounds the same, but it's a completely different word with a completely different meaning. Okay? What does straight mean? Anyone wants to give it a shot? Okay. A straight, geographically, means a narrow passage of water. A narrow passage or narrow channel of water. Is there an example of a strait near or around Singapore? Do any of you know of any straits that are in or around Singapore? Certainly, we have the Straits of Malacca. The Straits of Malacca from our northern neighbours Malaysia, which is where Raffles took his boat down to travel along the ports of call along Penang, Malacca, and finally reaching in Singapore to establish a colony back in 1819, right? 1819, that was the bicentennial. Okay? So the Straits of Malacca were definitely one of the straits that are most related or most important to Singapore that allows it to become a global port nowadays. So be careful over here. Although both of these words exist in the English language, the correct meaning that you should be looking for over here is this spelling of straight. Any questions? Okay, questions 44. To the researcher's surprise, over here spelling mistake, the bees kept choosing the chamber with the balls. Okay, so this might seem a bit unexpected or even a bit confusing, right? Why would the bees choose a chamber filled with small wooden balls instead of a chamber that has direct food in front of you, right? Once there, they started rolling the balls even by no incentive. Okay, this is the wrong preposition over here. What should be the correct preposition used? Preposition? Oh, wait. What should be the correct word choice over here for 45? Even with no incentive, right? Certainly that's the case. Right, I'm someone. Thank you very much for joining in, also getting the right answer, and certainly drink water, drink lots of water, along with double smiley face. And Teddy Bear has an answer over here without. Okay, let's take a closer look. Without and with, right? Both of them mean different, opposite meanings, in fact. But when do you use with, when do you use without? If you use without over here, even without incentive, because you see no, no is already a negative, telling you there is no incentive behind this, right? So if you use without, you end up getting a double negative. It negates each other, leaving you even with incentive, which isn't the case over here. So in this case here, without would cause a double negative, which is incorrect. If you want to use without over here, then you would not have the no that follows after it. Yep, so again, be careful with this. Although we have the meanings very clear in our minds, we need to be careful. We need to avoid making careless mistakes and losing careless marks on questions like these. Right. The researchers repeated the experiment and found that the bee still preferred going to the same chamber even after removing the balls. Okay, preferred. Is this a spelling or a grammar mistake? Is this a spelling or a grammar mistake? Prefer, okay, yeah. Double smiley face is saying that it's a spelling, is a tense mistake, it's a grammar mistake, should be the present tense prefer. Okay, Moon, um, right, prelims today, you got 47.95, right, how does that make you feel, Moon? How do you feel? What are your reflections on the result over here? Okay, and for our other viewers as well, maybe for Teddy Bear, would you like weigh in whether this is a grammar or spelling mistake? Right, that can certainly be the case for exam questions, right? Sometimes a question might look deceptively easy, however, they're actually quite tricky. And only when you start trying to answer the question and then you realize that you've gotten yourself stuck in a trap and you spend more time than you should have on this question. Okay, okay, double smiley face over here. Again, I think they have realized that perhaps this question is not as simple as it looks on the surface, changing your answers to a spelling mistake of preferred. And double teddy bear is backing them up with the spelling mistake as well. Okay, so this can be particularly tricky for students as well, as Moon has correctly pointed out. Occasionally, there are questions that look easy on the surface, but if you start thinking about it for a few more seconds, you realize that it's not as simple as it looks. Okay. We see this sentence over here. Look at the verb tense. We have repeated, found. Repeated and found are both in the past tense. So this tells us that whatever verb you have over here should also remain in the past tense. Oops. Okay. It should remain in the past tense as well. Okay, so that means this is not a grammar mistake. You're looking for a spelling mistake. Correct spelling of this is P-R-E-F-E-R, and then one more R in the middle, E-D. Okay, so take note over here, common errors over here. Students mess up how many F's that we have, how many R's that we have. So be careful, make sure you do not fall prey to this. Okay, so well done for those who've gotten it right eventually. It's always important to check your work, right? On your first go around, you might have scored down your answer quickly in the interest of time. But when you check your work, make sure you check your work carefully to identify any careless mistakes you might have committed. The researchers found that the bees still preferred going to the same chamber even after removing the balls. A younger bee spent more time playing in both experiments than the adults. So this is the incorrect article usage over here. What should be the correct article that you should be using? Instead of a, which should be the correct article? I'm someone, what do you think? You got a correct answer just now. Do you think you can get a 2 for 2 with another correct answer? I'm someone. How about the rest? What should be the correct answer for question 47? Okay, so it's important to keep reading on the sentence. Sometimes the clue lies before the blank. Sometimes the clue also lies after the blank. So it's important to continue reading a sentence in full before trying to attempt to answer the question. Right, we have Bell coming in with the fire emojis over here. Okay, well, Teddy Bear seems to take a different opinion. It's either most or some. Okay, right, most or some over here. If you have to use most or some, let me write this down. Most younger bees spend more time playing both experiment than the adults. In this case here, most would need to be a comparison. Most spend more time compared to the adults. However, this is a comparison. This is a direct article usage over here. Look at the end of the sentence. We have the adults. Okay, so the adults points to a very clear clue over here. You're looking and comparing these two groups, the adults versus the younger bees. Right, so very good attempt over here. Although we might have gotten the right answer, thank you very much for your active participation as well. It's a good chance to update and make sure you refresh your knowledge to ensure that you have clarified your doubts and your questions. Okay? And again, for Bell, very well done with the 4 flames, fires, right? Well done with Bell with the as the answer. Alright, now to our final 3 editing questions. For those who haven't gotten a chance to get your name on the board or to score a point, or if you wish to pull ahead against the other commenters to get the highest mark in editing, now is the time to log in and get in your right answers. One active little bee, even observed rolling the ball 117 times. One active little bee, even observed rolling the ball 117 times. Hey, what do we think the answer should be for question 48? The clues which we're looking at over here, 2 clues that should come to mind: active little bee and observed. What do these 2 clues tell us? Okay, double smiley face is the answer with 3 question marks behind it. Right, why question marks? Where does the uncertainty lie? Okay, Teddy Bear also coming in with another answer to recover. Anyone else wants to get the answers in before I go through the answer? Alright, so let me go through. Firstly, with active little bee. How many active little bees? Just 1. So it's singular. And we have observed, not just observed in the present tense, but observed with an ed behind it, telling us this is in the past tense. Okay. So these 2 clues add up together, telling us that we should be looking at the answer was even observed. So well done for double smiley face and Teddy Bear. Once again, the 2 stalwarts of getting the right answers over here. I hope we can keep it up towards the end by getting right answers all the way to the finish line. Rolling the ball 117 times, the playful antics may prove that the bees' minds are much more complex than previous thought. Okay, let's go through 49 first. Antics. Antics, to have antics is to be mischievous, your shenanigans over here. How do you spell antics? Right, I'm someone, do you want to give it a shot? How do you spell antics over here? For I'm someone. Or mood or wow wow. Mood or wow wow, if you're still in the chat over here, this is a chance for you to brush up and also to start pulling ahead when it comes to your English language skills. Okay, what do we think? How do you spell the word antics? Okay, it seems to be quite a difficult word for most of our viewers, right? most of our viewers seem to have difficulty with this. Anyone wants to give it a shot in the dark, because in the exam, putting a blank answer is as well as scoring 0 marks, right? If you were to give it a shot, what's your best shot? Double smiley face as their answer in. Anyone wants to compete or to challenge that spelling of antiques? Okay, right? People are putting their answers in with an increasing number of question marks, so maybe starting to look a bit sus, a bit scary, or a bit uncertain over here. Okay, right, the correct spelling of antiques is, hold on, A-N, oops. So you're off the right track over here. It starts off with A-N, T-I, C-S. Okay, so very well done to our two respondents over here who have gotten in your right answers despite your question marks, right? Good guess over here. Can tell that even if you're not confident of your answer, you never know when you might strike gold and get the right answer, even by pure chance. Okay, so be careful over here. Even if you come across a blank you're too unsure of, it's always worth it to put an effort and to give your best effort. You never know when you might get lucky over here. Okay. Antiques again, talking about homophones, words with similar sounds. Antiques is not to be misspelled with antiques. Right? What is an antique? An antique is a old and valuable object. For example, if you have an antique vase or an antique grandfather clock in your home, right? It is an antique, it costs a lot. It will fetch a high price on the marketplace. Okay, so again, words with similar sounds, but be careful, they have very different meanings. Finally, question 50. Prove that the bees' minds are much more complex than previous thought. This is a wrong word form. Why is this a wrong word form? Okay, previous over here is an adjective. However, you're describing a verb, right? Thought. Thought is a noun. Yes, I have a thought. But in this sentence over here, thought is being used as a verb. This is a verb. So when you're using an adjective to describe a verb, it needs to be an adverb. Okay, be careful. When you have an adjective describing a verb, it needs to take the form of an adverb. Okay? So what is the adverbial form of previous? What is the adverbial form of previous? Okay, I'm someone finally chiming in. Let's see if you got this right previously. What do we think for the others? Do we agree with I'm someone? Okay, all the answers flooding in the chat over here overwhelmingly would have scored the mark because the answer is indeed previously. So well done for I'm someone, double smiley face, and teddy bear for getting the right answer. Special shout out to I'm someone also for joining in after so long. Okay, thank you very much for joining in along the way. If there are some questions you're a bit hesitant to answer or to post our answers on the chat, just remember at the end of the day, we are here for your benefit and your learning. Everything here is anonymous, so I won't know who you are, whether or not you're I'm someone, whether or not you're teddy bear, whether or not you're 65 moments, I won't know who you are. Okay, so at the end of the day, no one knows who you are. You're here to freely learn, explore, and build up your language skills. Okay? You don't have to worry about judgment. You don't have to worry about feeling bad for yourself over here. Okay? So well done for those who have participated. Despite their little size and tiny brains, bumblebees are more than small robotic beings. Any questions? Okay. Well, it looks like we have completed this paper with some time to spare. I'll leave this page on for a little longer for you to take a screenshot if you need to take down the notes over here. And I think we have just enough time to travel over to our next set of practice papers for the first few sections before we wrap up for today. Any questions or any other clarifications or problems you faced in school regarding English papers or English questions that you'd like us to address on the spot over here? Right? I think just one of our respondents, Moon, no, not Moon, Moon, Moon mentioned that they had some struggles with their paper in their prelims, right? So any difficult prelim questions you've come across, or difficult exam questions you come across in your revision, you'd like us to talk about or like us to explore and unpack over here, please let us know in the chat so we can discuss it on the spot. Okay. Alright. I think with it, let's switch on gears on over to our next paper. We'll be looking at the 2023 Danhua paper. Okay. Let me get it out of the way here. Alright, so take note, this is the 2023 paper from Danhua Primary School. Again, looking at booklet A of paper 2, discussing the grammar and vocab MCQ questions. Starting off our grammar questions, right away we have question 1. Father gave us permission to go cycling. Blank he. Michael asked his brother. This is something you should take note of, especially for our more regular viewers, right? Some of your names I'm quite familiar with. Firstly, we come across a question with direct speech, right? Open and close inverted commas. What should you do? Okay. When you come across a question with direct speech, you identify your open inverted commas, your closed inverted commas, everything that falls outside of it, safely ignore it. Okay. Why do we ignore it? Because it does not affect the question. Not only does it not affect the question, if you leave it inside, you might end up getting confused and getting misled to the wrong answer. Okay. Happy Barbie, very happy to see you join in as well. Happy Barbie 7. Okay. Let's take a look at the main statement within the open and close inverted commas. Father gave us the permission to go cycling blank he. Take note, this is a very popular question. This is a very popular question and quite a difficult one as well. Maybe it's a product of one or the other, but because it is particularly tricky, it has become very common over the years. Not only in your primary 5 EOYs, even in your prelims and even in primary 6 and PSLE, you will see variations of this question. A leader also has joined in with your answer of 3. Okay. Maybe matching your username, you chose 3. Okay. So how do you answer a question like this? Father gave us permission to go cycling. This is the first half of your sentence, right? You have the verb. What is the verb or action in the first half? You have gave, right? To give, giving is the action. That is your verb. Who is the one carrying out this action? Who is the one showing this action of giving? That would be father. Okay. So father is the one that gave us the permission. In this case, the one that is acting out this action over here would be the subject of the sentence. Alright, not subjects like you have in school like math, English, or science, but subject of a sentence referring to the character or the party in the sentence that acts out the main verb of this sentence. Okay, yep, happy Barbie, as I correctly pointed out, father is our subject of the sentence. Okay. So why do we go into such detail about subject and verb? Because that affects the second half of the sentence. Okay. For the second half of the sentence, it's what is known as a question tag. Your question tag has 2 ingredients. Okay, you can see as an ingredient, you have a verb and you have a subject, just like a mirror, just like a reflection of the first half of the sentence. Okay. And talking about mirrors, talking about reflection, it reflects the same thing back and forth. Okay, so the subject over here will also refer to father. Father or any pronouns relating to father. The verb over here would be gave. Okay, J is answered in with subject verb agreement. Okay, yep, pause. Subject verb agreement. Let's see whether or not that is a correct identification over here, J. Okay, let's see. So we see in the options over here, we have he, all of them referring to father. So that is okay on this front, right? All of them fit the criteria. How about the verb? Okay. To solve for the verb, there are two steps we need to follow. Okay. First step is to be a verb in the same tense. Gave. What is the tense of the verb gave? No, I'm referring to the options, Jay. I'm referring to options as repeated he's. I'm not going he. Okay. Past tense, right? Double smiley face, thank you very much. Double smiley face is correctly pointed out. Gave is in the past tense. Okay. However, there is a second step you need to follow. Okay. Some of you might learn it differently in your own school. Some of you might call it the opposing rule. Some of you might call it the positive negative rule. But here I'll be teaching it using the opposite rule. Okay. What do I mean by opposite verb over here? We see from our first rule that we look at the past tense. So the past tense of give is gave, right? He did give permission. He did give permission, did being the past tense of do. Okay. However, we need to flip this around. Okay. To flip this to its opposite side, the opposite of did is okay, not the present tense. The present tense of did is do. Okay? The present tense of did is do. However, I'm looking for the change in tenses. I'm looking at a change in action. Did not. Okay, yeah, I did not give, right? If I did give, the opposite of that would be that did not give. So that's what I mean by the opposite verb or the opposite action. Right, Alina and right, Jay have gotten it right on the penny over here. Okay? So in this case, we look for an answer that carries out this idea of he did not give permission. So which of these four blanks would fulfill this criteria of didn't or did not? That leaves us with option 3. Okay, didn't he? Okay. Yep, so good job for those who have gotten it right, including Alina. Write your username over here, maybe it's a lucky sign. And for Jay as well as for the earlier respondents, including Happy Mummy, Double Smiley Face, and Teddy Bear. Okay, well done for getting it right. Okay, so on to question 2 over here. Some of us are speeding right on ahead, so let's go along. My cousin introduced a friend of blank to me during the barbecue. A friend of blank. Oops. Here you're looking for a possessive pronoun. Who does the friend belong to? Or rather, this friendship belongs to my cousin and that friend, right? So possessive pronoun is used to indicate ownership. It's like a friend of mine, right? Exactly. So mine over here, if you go from the singular first person to the plural third person over here, which would be the correct answer? Okay. I see Teddy Bear and Double Smiley Face with their answers, along with Alina. Okay. And Jay is halfway there, but does Jay have the full answer? In this case here, you're looking for option 3. Okay, theirs is a possessive pronoun. When do you use their? Where there is similar to his or her or my. While theirs is used for his, hers, or mine. Okay, so the change in speaker, change in point of view would be shown through this. And happy Mummy also getting the right answer along the way. Well done for the right answers here. If you need an additional step to understand this question over here, when you use there, when you use theirs, there is normally followed by a noun. For example, his water bottle, her friend, my live stream, right? So followed by a noun usually for there. However, theirs is follows after a noun. This water bottle is his, this pencil is hers, this live stream is mine, this friend is theirs. Okay, so one follows before the noun, one comes after the noun. Okay, so a very distinctive distinction of how you use their, how you use theirs. Okay, is that clear for our viewers? Okay, something to take note of. Question 3. Okay, question 3 is a preposition question. Our art teacher instructed us to cut blank the dotted line to get a perfect circle. So to follow a dotted line over here, that would be option 3, cut along the dotted line. Right, I'm someone also coming in with the right answer. It looks like all of us, all the answers so far have been option 3, right? We start off the question with option 3. Okay, so well done for those who've gotten it right so far. Maybe for Alina in the chat, if you're still around, Alina, maybe your username really is a lucky charm with all the correct answers in it. Okay. Question 4, let's see whether or not the option is still 3. Sarah, please pass me blank books on your table. Jim requested. Sarah, please pass me blank books on your table, Jim requested. Ooh, suddenly you see a change over here, a change in the winds, a change in the fortunes, no longer 3. Everyone is looking for 4 now. Why is it 3 and not 4? Why is it 4 and not 3? Firstly, we see books over here, books plural, right? Books indicate that this is the plural, so this and that are both singular nouns. This and that both point towards singular nouns, so they are incorrect in this question. Okay. Yep. Okay. Now between these and those over here, why do we use those and not these in this question? When do we use these? When do we use those? It all comes down to a matter of distance. Okay. Distance, proximity. If an object is nearer to the speaker, distance to speaker. If something is nearer to the speaker, you use these. Nearer. But if something is farther away from the speaker, you will use those. Okay. In this case, in this sentence over here, are the books nearer or farther from Jim? Are they nearer or farther from Jim? Yep, I see Happy Mummy with the answer over here. Jim needs Sarah's help to pass him the books, right? So this indicates that the books are farther from Jim. And that's why we use option 4, those. Okay, so well done for those who have gotten it right for this answer. Okay, I've see a few answers over here, including Tian joining in with father. Okay, yep, definitely. So that is why we use option 4, those. Okay, let's see if we can keep the streak alive for question 5 over here. I'll be looking out to see whether or not we have our right answers. We cheered Betty on as we watched her blank past her competitors. Okay. We see the answers swim, swam, swam, swims. All these are variations of the verb swim in different tenses, right? So is this just a simple tense question? Is this a simple tense question? What do we think? Okay, teddy bear, happy mummy, someone, and double smiley face has gotten in their answers over here. You see the thing that's no longer just a simple tense question, right? Why isn't this the case? We see cheered. Cheered is in the past tense. Watched is in the past tense, right? So if they are both these verbs are already in the past tense, that means the verb tense of this sentence is already in the past tense. So why isn't this swam? Why isn't this option 2? Subject verb agreement. Okay, Happy Mummy has the answer in. Alina also thinks it's option 1. But why do we not use the past tense of swam? SVA, VOP. Craig has the answer in with 1. Okay, the thing that we Singaporeans love are our acronyms, right? SVA for subject verb agreement. How about VOP for double smiley face? Would you explain to us what is VOP? Or what are VOPs? Okay, Teddy Bear, thank you very much for backing up the answer. A verb of perception. Okay, I see Star is the answer in as well. Let's see whether or not Star and Craig, who have just joined in with your answers, I have gotten it right. Okay. A verb of perception. What is a verb of perception? Verbs of perceptions relate to verbs of your 5 senses. Okay. What are your 5 senses? Your sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch, and sense of hearing. Okay. These are all verbs that relate to your 5 senses. In our question, do we have any verbs that relate to your 5 senses? We have watched, right? To watch something, you have to use your eyes. Okay? Exactly. So if you rely on verb of perception over here, the verb that immediately follows after it must be the infinitive in the base form. Okay? The verb that follows right after the verb of perception, the one that follows right after it, the one that follows directly behind it, must be in the base form. Okay? So that is why we use option 1, swim. Okay? At the same time, students will try to challenge and ask, why is it not option 4, swims, right? Swims refers to the singular verb, and you have her as the singular subject for the noun. That is true. However, swims is not the base form. The base form of swims is swim. So this is a special case over here. We come across the verb of perception. All the other rules about subject-verb agreement, all the other rules about tenses are all thrown out the window. Okay? Focus only on the base form of your answer. Is that clear? Okay, yeah, so definitely this can be a tricky question for some of us over here. If there's something new we have learned today, that is a great benefit for us. Okay, so a word form question. This looks like a tense question, but it's actually a word form question, so be careful of this. Okay, I think we have time to proceed with the last set of 5 questions over here. Question 6. Jacob as well as Betty blank ready to perform at the graduation ceremony next month. Okay. Alright, get your answers in. What do we think the answer for question 6 is? Okay, Teddy Bear coming in quick on the button, quick on the draw. And I'm someone is saying, no, you are wrong. It is option 2, R. Okay, definitely looking at option 2 as well. Option 1, however, seems to have a slight majority. I need more proponents for option 2. Okay, Gillian joining in with option 1. Any others before I start going through? Jia En also seems to be taking a side of option 1. So let's see whether or not it will be an overwhelming victory for option 1, or whether or not someone will take an underdog victory with an underdog victory with option 2. Okay? But interestingly, in this conversation, we don't look at question option 3 and 4. Why is it not was or were? Both these are the past tense. Okay? However, in this sentence, on this question over here, we notice that this graduation ceremony takes place next month. Since this takes place in the future, next month, we can very safely ignore or eliminate options 3 and 4 because these are both used for the past tense. Now we start with options 1 and 2. Is and are. Is used for the present tense in the singular. Are is used for the present tense in the plural. That all depends on our subject of this sentence over here. Who are or who is the subject of this sentence? Jacob, Benny, or both of the boys? Jacob, right? Some of us think it's Jacob, like Jia En says. Okay, this is something you need to pay attention to. Alright, let me zoom in over here, make sure that our eyes are clear because I know the screen is pretty small. Okay, so let's zoom in, take a microscope down to your paper. Jacob, right after Jacob, what is the first thing that shows up after Jacob? We have a comma. Okay. And for a while we see as well as Betty, followed by another comma. So when you have a noun, in this case here, Jacob is a person, right? It's a noun, followed by 2 commas after it. Anything that comes between these 2 commas over here, it is additional information about the noun. It provides additional information about this noun. His Sleeping Beauty joining in with your answer as well. Okay. However, if it is additional information, it needs to be kept in mind. It serves as a distractor. Whether or not this additional information is included in a sentence, it does not change the idea of the noun, right? Whether or not Benny exists, it does not change the property of Jacob's existence over here. So this additional information is a distractor. It's as good as ignoring whatever shows up over here. Okay? The purpose of a distractor is to pull your attention away from what's truly important, right? So it's as good as not being here at all. With that in mind, let's read this sentence without the distractor. Jacob blank ready to perform at the graduation ceremony next month. Now it is a lot clearer that the only noun you're looking at, the only subject over here would be Jacob. Okay. Leaving us with the answer, option 1. Okay. So that is it for question 6. Well done for those who have gotten it right. Yep, okay, thank you very much also for Sleeping Beauty coming in as my teaching assistant over here with the explanation. Okay, and Emma, I hope that clarifies the question that you have. If you need additional information or need me to explain a little longer, you can let me know as well so I can repeat the point. But take note, this is an important question that can show up from time to time. Okay, so be careful of questions like these that tend to trip students up by putting multiple subjects over here in between commas. Okay? At the end of the day, focus only on the noun, not everything that shows up in between the comma here. They're only here to distract you and they take away your marks. Okay, so cancel them out. Right, okay, question 7. Question 7, I think it's the one that you can wrap up with. Blank his injured ankle, he was not able to complete the race. what we have over here is a reason, his injured ankle. A reason leading to an outcome, not being able to complete the race. So at this start of the sentence, we need a conjunction at the start of the sentence to indicate or to introduce a reason for a outcome that occurs here. Alright, I see Teddy Bear, I'm someone, double smiley face, Jillian and MJT coming in with their answers, with Sleeping Beauty bringing up the rear. Okay, so let's go through these answers over here. The correct answer would be option 2, due to. Due to his injured ankle, because of his injured ankle, he was not able to complete the race. Okay, so that is how you use due to in a sentence to introduce reason for an explanation or introduce a reason for an outcome. Jia En has mentioned, I go to this tuition last time in primary school before. Hi Jia En, welcome back to Writers at Work. It must feel like you're coming home, right? How does it feel? How are you doing now, Jia En? How are you doing now, Jia En? I hope you're doing well. It always brings warmth to the heart to see our past students going on to achieve their dreams in life. Okay, great, great. Glad to hear that as well. I think we can end off with question. Okay, I'll wrap up. I know we are slightly over time. You're supposed to end at 4 p.m. I'll wrap up this section with the last 3 grammar questions, alright? Make sure that it's completed so that we don't go off with a cliffhanger. Okay? Let's end off with the last 8 questions. As blank of the work has already been done, our help was not needed. This is a quantifier question. Again, a very common question. It's not particularly difficult. Okay? I'll let you know right off the bat, it's not particularly a difficult question, but it is certainly a common or popular question. It is a popular question, so take note of this. As blank of the work has already been done, our help was not needed. Okay, yep, certainly most of us have option 4 in along with Jia En. I'm not sure Jia En indicated 4 as his answer or at his studying level over here, but I think all of us have selected option 4, much of the work. Okay, let's look at work over here first. Work refers to the workload is an uncountable noun. An uncountable noun. Okay, you cannot individually count out your workload, right? 1 workload, 2 workloads, 3 workloads. Okay, you cannot really do that. So it's an uncountable noun. How do uncountable nouns differ from countable nouns? For an uncountable noun, if you have a small amount of uncountable noun, use little. For example, there's little time left, the exams, or there's little time left before the O levels for Jia En, right? Don't stress, man. Okay. However, much over here is used for a large amount of an uncountable time. However, there is much improvement you can continue to make if you continue working hard towards your dreams and towards your goals. Okay, there's much improvement to be had if you continue working hard and pursuing your goals. On the other hand, for countable nouns, you have few for a small amount. For example, I have a few subjects to study in school, right? For secondary school students, you look back at the P6s and you think, PSLE you only have 4 or 5 subjects, that's so few of them. But then your younger juniors will then counter, yes, we only have a few subjects for PSLE, but each of these subjects have many topics, right? Many topics for a large amount of topics. So few and many are used for countable nouns. Uncountable nouns, you use their counterparts of little and much. In this case here, the work has already been done. Most of it has already been done, so our work help was not needed. You use option for much. Okay? As much of their work has already been done, our help was not needed. Okay, so well done for those who have gotten it right, along with Sleeping Beauty with the right correction towards the end. And Jia En also, even though you're in secondary 4, I hope this revision session also will be helpful for you to brush up and also to refresh your fundamentals, right? As you're writing, especially when you're doing your secondary four composition writing and editing passage as well, a lot of these language fundamentals come into play. So it's important to have a good grasp of them. Question 9. You blank have washed your own cutlery after each meal to reduce my washing load. Kelly grumbled to Lily. These are 4 examples of what we call modals. Over here, modals affect the intensity or the severity of the verb that follows right after. Modal. Have washed is your verb over here. In this case, how do you use each of these verbs or these modals to indicate the answer? Okay, I see Teddy Bear coming in with the answer. Do the rest agree? MJT also joining in with option 3. Any last guesses? Okay. Right, when do we use could over here? Okay. We use could to indicate then ability. You can do something. Okay. Indicate I have the ability to wash up my own dishes. However, might refers to permission or possibility. I might not or I may not. Okay. Possibility. If I wake up late for school, I might not reach school in time. Okay. Must used for necessity, and would is used for future scenarios, for future expectations. In this case here, Kelly is nagging, grumbling at Lily, right? She's trying to grumble to Lily, to nag at her. Hey, you could have done this because you clearly had the time to do this and yet you chose not to. Now I have additional dishes to wash. So the correct answer over here would be option 3. Could. You could have washed your own dishes, however you chose not to. Now I have an additional washing load to clear. So well done for our respondents for getting it right, along with double smiley face, MJT, and Teddy Bear for getting the right answers. Right, and now it's time to wind down to our final question for today's session. Question 10. Since the visit to a veterinarian, I blank my dog for daily walks and it is healthier now. I will continue this exercise regime as I enjoy it as well. Okay. What do we think should be the correct tense for this answer? Now this is, no doubt this is a tense question. What is the correct tense for this answer? Teddy Bear and double smiley face, very consistent answers over here on the board. MJT also joining in. Maybe this is the answer you'll get right in a row over here. Anyone else? Right, Sleeping Beauty joining in also with the 4. Okay. So let's take a look at option 4. Why are we also confident with option 4? Firstly, since the visit to the veterinarian, I blank my dog for daily walks and it is healthier now. Okay. It is healthier now. I will continue this exercise. This tells us that continue is the keyword over here, telling us it should be in the continuous tense. Okay. So since this is the continuous tense, we can eliminate option 1, which is the simple present tense, and option 2, which is in the past perfect tense, leaving us just with options 3 and 4. The difference between option 3 and 4 is that option 3 is in the past perfect continuous tense. Option 4 is your present perfect continuous tense. Okay, let me write it down. Past perfect. Option 4 is your present perfect. When do we use the perfect tense in a sentence? We use the perfect tense to refer to an action that is taking place prior to another action that is already stated in this sentence. In this sentence, do we already have an action taking place? Right, Yetani over here. Yetani? Okay. Yetani over here, very confident with option 4. Is healthier is the current state of my dog, right? My pet dog over here. This is the current state, the current action over here. He is only healthier because I started walking him before he got healthier, right? I had to walk him first before he starts getting healthier now. Okay? So since now is the present tense, this was an action I took before the now. So this is the present perfect tense. Is that clear to everyone why this is the present perfect tense? It's because this action was taken prior to my dog being healthier now. Now being the simple present tense. So that's why this must be the present perfect tense, leaving us with all of our answers option 4. So a round of applause to all of us who have gotten it right. Give yourselves a pat on the shoulder, a vigorous pat on your shoulder for a job well done, for scoring up your aces in your grammar section MCQs. Any questions about the questions we have discussed for today in our grammar MCQ? Okay, no worries. Always welcome MJT. Always welcome to our live streams over here. Okay. I have a question over here from some of our viewers. I mentioned earlier question 8. Question 8 is a quantifier question. It's a quantifier question that's quite popular, but it's not exactly too tricky, right? You can see based on the correct answers for question 8 just now, most of you could answer this question correctly because it's not too tricky. Okay? However, if you want to challenge yourself, you want to take up a level and want to improve yourself, right? If you want to set yourself a challenge, you can check out this paper, the Nanyang Primary School paper from 2023. Nanyang Primary School, end of year 2023 for the P5 level. Okay, we discussed this question earlier for today, but you can take a look and you can practice at your own time as well. This paper had a quantifier question that I would say is a lot harder, a lot tougher than the regular run-of-the-mill quantifier questions. Okay, so if you want to challenge yourself, you can go find this paper and try and attempt this question over here. Okay? And if any of you got the correct answer, let me know in our next live stream over here. Bye-bye. Okay, yeah, so for those who are leaving, thank you very much for joining in over here. Okay, yeah, Emma has pointed out over here that occasionally for our final questions, perhaps our stamina is weakening, our concentration is drifting, so occasionally we make mistakes or unforced errors. Okay, so important thing to keep in mind over here, all MCQ questions carry the same mark. Okay? All of them are equally weighted, so if you come across a difficult question at the start of the paper, you can always choose to skip it first and focus on the simpler questions first to maximize the amount of marks you get for Emma. Sleeping Beauty has a question. Is teacher Jamie going to teach today? Close almost to teacher Jamie's and his teacher Mitsuko, who will be joining us at 5:30 later. Okay, I think I should list down over here. Teacher Mitsuko will be teaching a paper at 5:30, and it is not just a P5 paper. No, it is not just a prelim paper. It's not a P5 paper. It is the actual PSLE paper from 2022. Okay, 2 years ago, and we all know that every 2 years, perhaps the questions might tend to overlap. So who knows, right? If you join it at 5:30 later, perhaps you get to see how teacher Mitsuko unpacks the PSLE paper, the question that we're all working towards. Okay, so make sure you tune in later at 5:30 or turn on notifications so that once teacher Mitsuko is online, you can come in over here and start asking her all the questions you have about PSLE. Okay, right. Other than that, if you have any further questions, you can feel free to DM us or leave a comment in our chat. Otherwise, that is Teacher Marcus signing off. We'll see you all very soon for our next live stream session. Bye bye.